words of Numbers chapter 24, verse 5. How beautiful are your tents, O Israel, your sanctuaries, O Jacob. How beautiful to be in our holy sanctuary together and as a community. We learned our Jewish community can survive and even thrive under trying circumstances keeping us apart. But being in person, seeing each other's faces, hugging, sharing private conversation, being before the Ark and Sefer Torah, standing together as a community, is a special gift and speaks to how beautiful are our sanctuaries, O Israel. Matovu comes from last week's Torah portion, Balak. However, it is the passage we will be studying tomorrow morning in Torah study. It is always a prayer of comfort, celebration, and hope for our community. Welcome home to everyone who joins us here in person tonight. Welcome to everyone joining us online with our new live stream. As this is the first time we are using it, there will likely be a few bumps in the road. As we succeeded over time on Zoom, we will create an online sanctuary space of beauty in the coming weeks as well. To begin this next part of our community's journey, we invite up to light our Shabbat candles, Amy Geffen, and our newest temple board member, George Shapiro. Page 120. A reminder, we use the pages in the brackets in blue. The Kiddush is on page 123. Please rise.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddeshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'yahava uvratzon intilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom tehillah v'mikra'ei kodesh zeicher litziat mitzrayim kivanu b'charta ve'otanu kidasha mikol ha'amim ve'shabbat kodshecha ve'ahava uvratzon hinkaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat l'chaim.
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 It's a chance to say hello to someone. Might be the person in front of you, behind you. It might be from 6 feet. It might be right up close. But no breakout rooms. Take some time to say hello to somebody around you. And hello to all of our people on live stream. As we return to our seats, we join in the words of Psalm 96, Shir Chadash. The words can be found on your song sheet. Page 124. We enter this sanctuary to welcome Shabbat. Within these walls, we sit surrounded by numberless generations. Our ancestors built the synagogue as a visible sign of God's presence in their midst. Throughout our long history and our endless wanderings, it has endured, a beacon of truth, love, and justice for all humanity. Its presence guided our ancestors to live lives of righteousness, holding up to them a vision of their truest selves. Together, now we in our turn come into this sanctuary to affirm the sacredness of our lives. May we enter this place in peace. May holiness wrap around us as we cross its threshold. Weariness, doubt, the flaws within our human hearts, the harshness of the weak, let these drop away at the door. In the brightness of Shabbat, let peace settle upon us as we lift our hearts in prayer. As we welcome Shabbat and welcome each other, we welcome the Sabbath bride, symbolically connecting to all of us who come in, however we might enter this sanctuary tonight. So Lakadu D is on page 138.
Shamor vizat for medieval ishmiya.
We haven't done that in a long time. We continue with the Baruch Hu, our call to worship on page 146.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMivorach. Baruch Adonai HaMivorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMivorach le'olam va'ed.
Page 148, please feel free to join me in the Hebrew. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim b'chokhmah poteach sha'arim u'v'tvuna mishaneh itim u'machalif et hazmanim u'misader et hakochavim b'mishmerotehem ba'akia kirtzono borei yom v'layla golel or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or.
ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב ערבים.
Page 151. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Open up our eyes, teach us how to live, fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one. Open up our eyes, teach us how to live, fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one. We will know that you are one. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום לבבך, ושילנתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Adonai Elohechem Emet. Together on page 159. Sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come, the song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more, the song of a world redeemed, the song of peace.
Who is like you? Adonai Yaakov, ugelo miyad chazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai, Kal Yisrael.
We speak of God as a shelter of peace over us, but sometimes the shelter that we want over us is a little more concrete. We want to be back under this shelter, not because of its beauty above us, it's just a ceiling, but because of all that it represents. Think of all the prayers that have been said in this room that have floated up and still carry over us with power and meaning. Think of the prayers you're offering tonight in our hope and our togetherness as one community. We turn to our Hashkivenu, a shelter of peace, page 160.
Ashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu Lishalom, V'hamidenu Shomreinu Lechaim. Ashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu Lishalom, V'hamidenu Shomreinu Lechaim. Ashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu Lishalom, V'hamidenu Shomreinu Lechaim. Ushmor tzidkenu, uvohenu, lechaim ulshalom, me'ata ve'ad olam. Ashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu Lishalom, V'hamidenu Shomreinu Lechaim. Ashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu Lishalom, V'hamidenu Shomreinu Lechaim.
We continue with the Tefillah, the center section of our worship, beginning on page 164. Please rise. Adonai, Sifatai Tiftach, Ufigai Gid, Tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah. Ha'el hagadol hagibor v'hanora, El Elyon, gomel chasadim tovim, v'konei hakol, v'zocher chasdei avot v'imahot, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל, אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל. מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשלי עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. Together, you are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated. We read together on page 173. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day, and may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mikadesh HaShabbat. Our prayer for peace, page 178.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tashim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tashim Le'olam. Ki Adon Melech Adon Lechol HaShalom. Ki Adon Melech Adon Lechol HaShalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tashim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tashim Le'olam. V'tov beinecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tashim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tashim Le'olam. Tashim Le'olam. Tashim Le'olam. Baruch atah Adonai, hamvarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom.
We continue with our own private silent prayers. Turn now to our Torah service, which begins on page 364. And we invite to join us up on the bima, Marty and Karen Davidowitz. Please rise.
Kim Itzion Teitzei Torah. Kim Itzion Teitzei Torah. Udevar Adonai Mirushalayim. Baruch Shel Natan Torah Torah. Baruch Shel Natan Torah Torah. Le'amo Yisrael b'kedushato. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Mo Adonai Iti Unerob Shemo Yachdav Yisrael ve'orecha b'kodesh ha'berichu Ka'adhu Yisrael ve'orecha b'kodesh ha'berichu Ka'adhu Torah, Torah,
Please be seated. Torah portion for this Shabbat is Shabbat Pinchas. We'll be reading from Numbers chapter 27, verses 1 through 4. If you'd like to follow along here in the sanctuary, it's in the Plout Chumash, which is under the seats in front of you on page 1079. Numbers 27, 1 to 4. And we're honored tonight for our Aliyah this evening to invite up Roberta Traeger.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvarach. Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Voed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam. Asher bacha banu mikol hamim v'nata lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai Noten HaTorah. Amen.
Amen. Vatikav moed lemor. Avinu מת במדבר, והוא לא היה בתוך העדה הנועדים על אדוני בעדת הרקיע, והוא לא היה בתוך העדה, כי בחטאו מת, ובנים לא היו לו. למה יקרא שם אבינו מתוך משפחתו, כי אין לו בן, תנה לנו אחוזה בתוך אחי אבינו, ויקרב משה את משפטן לפני אדוני.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam asher natan lanu Torah tamet v'chayei olam nata b'tzachenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
So I am known in Torah study for saying at certain moments that the Torah was written by men, for men, about men. What Cantor just chanted was written by men and for men, but about women. So we look forward, it's just a few weeks away, or in Torah study terms, 7 or 8 years, when we'll be getting to these verses about the daughters of Slochad, and one of the rare, powerful passages celebrating women in the Torah. With the Torah out in front of us, we take an opportunity to share names of people we're thinking of so very much, family and friends who need our health and our strength. As we offer names here out loud and then in the sanctuary, we invite anyone who's joining us online, if those of you with a chat, to feel free to put your names of your family and friends into the chat there for others to see. Temple, we're especially thinking of Elaine Wall, Helen Schloss, Rochelle Weinberg, Ronnie Heller, Jamie Stern, Leah Stern, Joan Lipton, Arlene Green, Sadie Rosenkrantz, Elise Leibowitz, Roberta Traeger, Jody Ann Herman, Justin Levinson, Judith Rubin, Panina Shamus, Stuart Weingartner. And we add to those names that you're thinking of. I invite anyone here in the congregation to share names out loud as I point in your general direction. All those named out loud or named in other ways and named in our hearts, we join in a Mishaberach for healing. Cantor, we're doing the middle of 371. We're doing the middle of page 371.
May thy source of strength, who bless the one
As we lift the Torah, we invite to join us on the bima to dress the Torah, Lois Silverman, and to help return the Torah to the Ark, Linda Kahn. Please rise.
V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe livnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai b'yad Moshe. V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe livnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai b'yad Moshe. Yai lai lai lai, yai lai la lai lai, yai lai la lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai la lai lai, yai lai la lai lai, ya la lai la lai, yai lai 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 la lai. It's time he lamachazikim ba betom feha meushar dirafeha dalchenom v'chol netivoteha. Shalom, shalom, hasivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva, chadish yameinu kekeh.
Please be seated. Pinchas is a complicated Devar Torah with some sections that are very disturbing. But one of the points during the passage repeats what we already know from earlier portions, that Moses will not be allowed to enter into the promised land. We certainly can reflect on what it's like to be denied something we want and how painful that can be when we can't change the world to let us get what we hope for and wish for. But we also can recognize that finally getting something long delayed is extra special and has more meaning to us than it might have had if we had just gotten it right from the beginning. When the Israelites make it into the promised land, it's full of great rejoicing and celebration. 40 years of wandering, 400 years of slavery, they were long denied to getting their freedom. For us, on a more micro level, we've had opportunities to get things we've longed wished for. Seeing family for the first time in months or years, sending our kids finally off to summer camp, being here in our sanctuary for services. These are things we wish we could have had always as usual, but are glad to have them now. As we reflect back on the pandemic and on our isolations, on the things we were denied, we think first of the lives that were lost. Over 600,000 people in the United States, 4 million people worldwide. We recognize the pain we have felt and will continue to strive to overcome. We also learned many things about ourselves, our community, and our world during these struggles. Perhaps it is during a struggle when we learn the most things about the world. And so I wonder, what is something that you most discovered in this journey in these past 16 months? Think about it, and I invite you, I'll come into the congregation. If you can share it in a sentence, raise your hand and I'll come over to you. I am going to start on this side of the room and work that way, so if you don't come up with it right away, I'm not coming back. And please keep it to one sentence. I'll start. I learned that connecting to other people via the internet can be wonderful, but it's not as good as doing it in person. Those of you online may want to share your thoughts in the chat if that's available. So does anyone have something they think they learned during this time of the pandemic about yourself, your family, or your community?
I learned the importance of focusing on simple things and taking smaller steps.
I learned to appreciate things more and not take for granted what I have.
I learned that you have to be comfortable in your own skin because nobody else is around, and if you don't like yourself and if you don't feel comfortable, it's quite sad.
I learned that this congregation and my religion were more important to me than I had ever suspected.
I learned how much I missed being out among people and places, you know, not just in the house, although the house is nice occasionally.
I was reminded of the importance of little things like family and health.
I learned that even an extreme introvert who hates talking to other people unless he has to, sometimes enjoys talking to other people.
I realized how much I missed my violent students.
I learned Zoom for the first time in my life.
I learned how grateful I am for things as small as ice cubes and running water.
I also learned that my computer did more than just shop and email people, so it was a learning experience.
Now we're at a time where we look positively at the horizon. We look with hope for what is and what might be. Although our hope is always measured a little bit, I think we learned in the pandemic never to truly, completely say that everything's coming up roses. So I want you to ask her a different question. What is something you have cherished in recent weeks or look ahead to in the days to come? And again, please keep it to a sentence. I'm going to start on this side this time. I'll start again, so no one has to be the first. I know that first hug with my parents after not seeing them in person for 2 years was particularly special.
After a very long time, the adult B'nai Mitzvah class is actually going to have a B'nai Mitzvah October 15th.
We're supposed to go tweet, tweet, tweet at that point.
I'm excited for in-person culture like Broadway and concerts coming back.
Aaron says me too.
Marty and I look forward to seeing our grandson. We haven't seen him in 4 years.
Friends, I mean, more to me than ever. More for them, I could make through the pandemic. For Marjorie and Linda, and now when I couldn't gotten through this, and you, everybody, I could have done it without you guys.
I love going outside and breathing air without a mask between me and the air.
I cherish my temple friends who, within the past 15 months, have become family to me, and I cherish my cleaning woman.
I cherish being able to do 15 months of Torah study.
At the end of the Asher Yatzar prayer, which is found on your song sheets, it reminds us that God acts wondrously through pain and loss. Let us never overlook the things that we learn on our journey. And let us never ignore the wonder that means even more to us than ever before. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. So we're going to sing this. It has a very difficult part at the beginning. It goes like this. Whoa, I'm not in the right key, but whoa, let's all try that. Whoa, that was really good. Let's try it again. Whoa, and again. Whoa, you could try different notes, like even whoa. I thank you for my life, body and soul. Help me to realize. Help me to realize I am beautiful and tall. I'm perfect. I'm perfect the way I am, and a little broken too. I will live each day. I will live each day as a gift I give to you. And now here come the woes. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's sing it all the way through. I thank you for my life, body and soul. Help me to realize. Help me to realize I am beautiful and tall. I'm perfect just the way I am. I'm perfect the way I am, and a little broken too. I will live each day as a gift. I will live each day as a gift I give to you. And the woes. Whoa, Baruch atah Adonai, Rofei chol basar, mafli la'asot. Baruch atah Adonai, Rofei chol basar, mafli la'asot.
Blessed are you, Adonai, who heals all flesh, working wondrously. We want to share simchas, good things that are happening in our lives. We touched on it a little bit before, but there are very specific things happening to you in recent days and up days ahead. It's a big holiday weekend. So we want to hear from you what good things are happening in your lives. Cantor and I are going to start.
I am so excited to be starting my 3rd year at the Reformed Temple of Forest Hills.
And you may not know the clergy, it's July 1st is our first day. So I'm starting my 8th year at the Reformed Temple of Forest Hills and my 25th year as a rabbi. So let's go see if people have stuff to share. Again, if you're online, please put it into the chat for other people to see there. So who has a simcha, something good coming up or just passed?
I had my surgery on my right eye and went well. I'm going to get my second eye this coming week, and hopefully I'll be able to see better than I've ever seen before, physically and spiritually.
We're getting to visit our cousins for the first time next weekend, so we're excited.
July 4th, I'm having 4 friends come over to watch the Macy's fireworks on my bigger television. And July 11th, I'm going up to New Paltz to see my mother, who I haven't seen in, I don't want to say how long. It's terrible.
We finally got the last member of the family vaccinated.
Yesterday was my baby cousin's birthday. He turned 1.
For the first time in, I think, a year and a half, Karen and I actually went to a movie theater and actually saw a movie at the theater. Quiet Place Part 2. Very scary.
Over on your right.
Coming next week, we're going to see my brother, who I haven't seen in several years, and 2 of his daughters are coming into town.
Mazel tov.
This weekend, we're going to go out to Kachok to see some friends we haven't seen in a year and a half.
I get to see my brother, who actually lives not that far from me, but we've just been socially distancing, and I really can't wait to see him on Sunday.
The Forest Hills Library is now open full-time.
I had my birthday last week.
Mazel tov.
And Anna, I think there's something else coming up that you might be a little excited for.
I'm gonna have my mitzvah on July 22nd.
And his conversion is July 26th.
Mazel tov.
Well, and I'll add one on behalf of the temple. We have this fancy new camera system to send some much more easily, make sure that anybody can come online. If you have neighbors, friends, family that you're like, they should see what's happening at our temple, and for whatever reason they can't come here in person to do it, just send them to rtfh.org/live, and they can join us for any of our services and many of our programs as well. And as I've said elsewhere, if you want to be in touch with every single person you've ever met in the last 15 years of your life, just make sure to do a PSA on vaccines in New York City. And every single one of them will contact you to say they just saw you on TV. So. We're going to move to our concluding blessings now, beginning with the Aleinu in the middle of page 586. Please rise.
Alleluia. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
Please be seated. We think now of people we miss so very much, family and friends who have passed from this earth in body, but whose love and light still shines in our hearts. This week we mark the yard site, the anniversary of the passing of Benjamin Barnett, Pearl Deichman, Sylvia Ecker, John Eglander, Ernest R. Esikoff, Mitchell Fonarow, Isidore Freeman, Amalia Freiser, Jenny Glass, Lena Greenberger, Jacob Jacobs, Oscar Jacobs, Marlee Joseph, Sasha Carlson, Aaron Kavetsky, John Kowalski, Manny Kurzak, Lawrence Lehman, Joseph Lerman, Irving Lent, Sylvia Lesser, Seymour Mayer, Leah Mazur, Irving Miller, Herman Nature, Louis D. Newman, Elise Allendorf, Lester Oppenheimer, Abraham Rattel, Dorothy Schauer, Herman S. Schwartz, Mamie H. Slater, Sadie Steinberg, Rita Stern, Charles Strauss, Albert Veriano, Mary Wolowitz. And we note in sadness the recent passing of James Campbell, friend of Roberta Traeger, Artie Solomon, father of Donna Gelb, grandfather of Jamie Stern, and Temple member Helen Schloss. We add to these names that are in each of our hearts. If you're remembering someone in particular, share their name out loud here in the congregation or in the chats if you join us on the live stream.
Dorothy Weigand.
We join together in our prayer of togetherness and healing. The Mourner's Kaddish, page 598. Please rise. Yitgadal, v'yitgadash, Shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrah kurutei v'yamlik malchutei, b'chayakon v'yomechon, uv'chayei decho beit Yisrael, b'agala uv'zman kariv v'yamru amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mivarach le'olam amei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shmei Kedusha Baruchu. Le'elam minko birchata v'shirata, tushbekata v'nekamata, damiran be'alma v'yamru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yamru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yamru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to every broken heart among us. And let us say, Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'yimeru amen.
Amen. Please be seated. We invite up our temple president, Neil Rosenblatt.
Good evening, everybody. It's great to see you all live for a change. Very, very different than staring at the boxes on Zoom, let me tell you. I'm back to handwritten notes as opposed to typed ones, so if I have a hard time reading my handwriting, I apologize. Thank you as always to Rabbi Cantor, Alan, Cheryl, Joe, Bonnie, Andy, Juan, and most of all to all of you guys for being here tonight, for all the work that you guys do behind the scenes. I'd be remiss if I did not mention for the final time the tremendous efforts of our Zoom team. I'm thrilled that you can now sit back and enjoy services tonight, that you were able to enjoy services tonight, rather than worry about muting and unmuting little boxes on a screen. A huge thank you to our in-house tech guru, Steve Silverberg, who helped captain the Zoom side and also who helped get our cameras going here for this evening. Wouldn't be services if you didn't come here and get welcome, so thank you to tonight's greeters, to Marjorie Blackman, to Anna Weber. You know, it's something to be said when a little hello and a hug goes a very, very long way to making you feel back home. If you're not already doing so, please make sure that you're following the RTFH Instagram. The address for that is at Reform Temple FH. Again, that's at Reform Temple FH. It's wonderful to be back home tonight. It really is. You know, normally I come up here with a nice song lyric to kind of close things out. I had one prepared, but really nothing quite would capture the feeling of being up here with you tonight. So I thank you all. It's great to see you, and look forward to doing this again next week. Shabbat Shalom.
I'll add a song lyric. He usually does. Be it ever so humble, there's no place like home. We'd like to invite any of the kids in the congregation, if they're comfortable, to get first dibs on the challah and join us for the motzi. And if they don't want to, that's okay too. We have a lot of introvert kids today. Oh, good. I was thinking we would have the one non-kid doing this. Just a reminder, there is an oneg tonight in the ballroom after services. There are some stuff that are out on trays with tongs, so please make sure to use those to pick up your stuff. And there's other stuff that's pre-packaged so that this way you're the only one who has any access to it if that is something more important to you. So there's a variety of things, and we thank our Women's Connection not only for sponsoring tonight's oneg, but for making sure it exists in the first place. Here we go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz
B'te'avon, bon appetit. And we close with America the Beautiful, which is on page 681.